Welcome to Marketing MASH, brought to you by themarketingscope.com.
I'm Eric Vidal with the Marketing Scope. Today we have Andy Crestodina with Orbit Media. Thank you, Andy.
Glad to be here.
So Andy runs, Orbit Media is a web design firm in the Chicago area. And, you know, you're a speaker, author, you teach content chemistry. And so is that, from what I understand, the mashing of analytics and actions, if you will? And I know that's the rough short version.
Sure.
Can you elaborate on that, please?
Absolutely. So I'm a big proponent of data-driven decision-making, of finding evidence before taking actions. The name of the book actually borrows from a podcast or a blog post I wrote years ago, The Periodic Table of Content, which was like 6 years ago. It was like this little infographic that showed all the types of content and, like, you know, how they work together. But the kind of science theme of chemistry makes perfect sense for my philosophy in marketing, which is making good decisions by having the right information. It's not gut, it's not opinion, it's not like, you know, oh, this is what I'm feeling today. No. I'm all about asking questions, finding answers, and making decisions based on those answers. And a lot of the stuff that you need to make good decisions is right there in analytics, like just a few clicks away.
Yeah. So, how often should they be looking at these analytics?
I know, it's a common question, right? People always ask that. Eric, how often should I look at my analytics?
I know the answer, I think, but I'm going to let you answer.
I think it's a silly question.
Yeah.
And people don't like to hear that, but I think it's ridiculous, and here's why. If I asked you the question, how often would you look at the dashboard on your car?
Often.
Yeah, often. Or, I should do that would you say, well, I need to look at it every day, so I'm going to run downstairs and open the door of my parked car and look at the dashboard? Like, that would be ridiculous. Why? Because you don't need the information right then. We should use analytics when we have a question we need to answer, when we're testing a hypothesis, when we need insights.
But don't you think that people just, let's pick on agencies for a while.
Sure.
You work in an agency. So don't agencies a lot of times just send over the analytics report weekly or monthly or what have you to their clients, and the client's busy? And my favorite is when some of my best friends are on the agency side, and they tell me, like, the client hasn't even looked at one report.
Right.
And then now it's been 3.5 months, and now they want, hey, can you give me some insight?
Yeah.
But they're obviously not, some of these clients or brands aren't looking at the reports. Some of them look at it all the time, but what are they doing with it, right? So are you helping them with that? I mean, I take it you're helping them with that.
Well,
or you can give some best practices on that.
Well, it depends on the client. There's a personality type of some clients that just want lots of data.
Yeah.
And so if they want data, actually you can, inside Google Analytics, create a dashboard of all their favorite reports and click on the email tab and just have that sent to them as a PDF automatically once a week. You're done. They got their report. You can go do it with some real analysis instead of just generating reports for someone that might not even be looking at them anyway. But most people really should just be going to the report that they need at the time, because they're not sure what to do. They want to test an idea. They want to take a certain action. So, you know, there's the big differences between reporting, which is just pretty charts, or Avinash Kaushik calls it a data puke, and analysis, which is finding answers, taking actions.
Well, I mean, I know you guys, you know, you're a digital media organization, so you're looking at you do a lot of different things when it comes to digital media, but from a website perspective,
Sure.
Give us a little insight on, you know, how you guys approach that data.
Sure.
And how you make decisions based on that data, maybe some examples.
Sure. So we don't do any paid, we're totally inbound. So we live and die based on search. So here's an example of a question, an answer, and an action. What key phrases am I ranking for in Google but not ranking that high? In other words, what is the lowest hanging SEO fruit on my website? I go to acquisition, search optimization, queries. I'm looking at the queries report, all the phrases I rank for. I create an advanced filter that says, show me just the phrases for which the average position is greater than 10. In other words, give me a list of all the phrases for which I rank high on page 2.
Yeah.
Voila, I sort it by rank, all the 11s, 12s, 13s. I'm now 30 seconds, 1 minute into this exercise. Now copy and paste each of those into Google and actually go confirm the ranking and find the page. Now I'm 3 minutes into this exercise, and I found a page that ranks high on page 2 in Google. Did it indicate its relevance? Did it have the phrase in the title? Did it use the phrase in the body text? Was it a high quality page? Did I answer all the questions? Did I go deep on the topic? A little bit of copy editing? Literally, I'm 5 minutes into this task, and I have moved within a few days from page 2 to page 1 in Google, quadrupling traffic to that page. 0 cost, 5 minutes, all done through analytics.
Nice. So do your clients appreciate that? Do they understand that?
They love it. Yeah. They make a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
They don't all pay as much attention to it as I wish, but when you sit down with someone and you really get into the data and those quick actions that come afterwards, the ROI is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So let's go back to websites. So you're like early on with a client, and you're pitching the ideas that you have about the website. And so you have to deal with a lot of subjective ideas and thoughts. Sure. The ones I used to hear, like, I don't like red, or different things like that.
Yeah.
So tell me how you deal with that and how you leverage the analytics to help with some of the actions, or guide maybe the client through to be on the same page as you maybe. Or I don't know if that's how you would word it.
It's the right way, because it's very sensitive. It's their website. You're building it for them. So if they have a strong opinion if a subjective opinion of any type.
I picture you sitting there for just
just patience, right? Listening. You have to listen first, right? No one listens to anyone who doesn't listen to them. So you have to show empathy. I care. I'm paying attention. I heard you, right? You repeat it back to them. Red's a great color. We love red. Red's in my brand. I'm a fan of red.
But for some reason, your audience doesn't like red when we test it. No.
Right. Yeah. So then. So it's political. Now, there's, again, like we mentioned, personality. There's different personality types, and there's different ways to influence people in a conference room. And this is almost like marketing, but to one person, right? This is like knowing your audience, even that one person in your audience who you're pitching to, or you're trying to get approval from. But bottom line, you need to make sure that they understand that you hear them. They need to understand that you are focused on their results. They need to understand that you are ROI driven and that you will defend the project from their bad decisions if necessary. You're going to fight. You might lose, but you'll fight for the ROI of the project. And then you're going to make a case for the recommendation you're making, which should be based on evidence. Yeah. Opinion versus opinion, the highest paid opinion wins. Opinion versus data, the data wins.
It should win.
Should win. Data versus data, the best data wins. So I'll make a case for whatever we're recommending based on experience, based on best practices, and whenever possible based on data. And that's how I am hopefully going to be influential over my clients in defense of their projects, in defense of their target audience, and ultimately their own analytics.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Andy. And by the way, I don't know if you can get this, but Andy is using red socks, and I think rumor has it that there's analytics that back up red socks go very well with most anything you wear.
Personal branding tip, I've worn nothing but red socks for 20 years. People who know me actually and haven't seen me in a while run up and pull up my pant leg to check to see if I'm still wearing red socks.
So I did not know this, so this is a first for the marketing scope. I did not know that it was on a setup.
Branding. It's my call to action. It's on my feet.
Andy with Orbit Media, thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric. This is a pleasure.
Thank you. It was not a setup, I swear.
That's it for this episode of Marketing Mash. You can share your thoughts by following us on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast to keep up with the show. And of course, you can always find us by visiting themarketingscope.com.